this has happened.
So, my toe, alright?
Yeah, your toe.
Jadon, I think the first night was important. I think,
Yeah. So God randomly asked me to go see this man in Australia, even though I hardly had any money. He said to spend the money and go see this man. So
Queensland night.
flew down and saw this man. It was pretty great. The first night we were in the car hanging out together. And I was sharing with him about something that Papa had been showing me, Papa meaning God. And Windsor really put me in my place. I realized that a lot of our friendship, I had kind of expected him to see things and see God the way that I saw him, and expected him to have the relationship I had with God. And every time I would share stuff with that Papa showed me with him, I did it almost with the expectation of him having that with Papa. And it was extremely big that he called that out in me and humbled me, and that he was able to stand in who he was in Papa and
Yeah.
stand up to me and just tell me what was what, and that I needed to know my place. And it was really awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I like that you have the humility to be excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really good step for myself as well, in the sense of taking my life and my love for myself. Like, no, this is the place that I am at in my life. And I need, I want to be supported by you in this, and I don't feel supported in this way. And so, that happens. And obviously, a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships, but that was the first night.
Mhm.
Crazy, right? So,
Yep.
so the Father just seems to work that way, and then from that channeled and flowed an incredible journey of just the river of whatever terms you want to call it, the river of unity, the river of the body just flowing
Wow.
from one place to the next, and with almost very little communication. So the decisions that we both made, we made together with the Lord as we were listening, and almost some of the time we didn't even have to ask the other, like, yo, what is the Lord saying? Most of the time we just do it, and out of our obedience to the Lord, the other felt the same thing at the same time. This is a beautiful angle. And
It's
we
awesome.
would just do it. We would just go for it. And so, Jadon, what was one of your favorite moments? Because I remember several of them. But
Okay, one of my favorite moments was
spewing lemonade.
oh, that was amazing. One of my favorite moments was we had been doing laundry on base, and we kept forgetting to get our laundry out of the wash and dryer. And so Windsor reminded one day, was like, we should just set a timer sometimes. I was like, okay. So I went, he was busy in the morning, and I was chilling by myself, so I went and I started laundry, and I set a timer on my phone, and I'm like, I set a certain time, and then I was like, I felt like Pop was like, no, set like, I set like 3:15, and he's like, no, set 3:14. I'm like, that's really random, but okay, I guess I will. So I opened back up my phone and changed the timer, and then I go off and do my own thing, and anyways, so then we're just doing stuff, and then me and Windsor meet up randomly on base, and we're talking, and he's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, oh, I was doing laundry, and I was like, you know what? I think that it should be done right about. And I started to say now, and my timer went off on my phone. I said, right about, and it was like, and we both looked at each other like, are you kidding me?
That's
it was amazing.
fantastic. Oh my
I was
word.
to the second. Like I said, right about, and then it started ringing.
I feel like God was having so much fun
Oh, he was. He was having a ball.
playing with you guys.
It was so good. Yeah.
Tell me about the computer cord.
Computer cord.
You remember that?
Not 100%. Go for it.
We were outside on the computer and plugged it on the inside, so the computer cord was going through a window. We were sitting there hanging out together, and he got up, like we were getting ready to pack up and go do something else, and he got up and was getting ready to pack up his computer, so he was getting ready to go inside to unplug his computer cord, and at the same time I was going inside to get a water, and he got up to go unplug it, and then Papa was like, don't unplug it, it's fine. Like, Jadon will get it or whatever. And then, like, I'm in there and I'm getting water. I'm like, oh, hey, I should unplug the computer cord. So I unplug the computer cord, and Windsor looks at me and is like, seriously? Like, you literally just told me not to unplug the computer cord because you were going to do it.
Yes.
So, just little stuff like that the whole time. It was just amazing.
And I think that there were a few moments where we literally just, like, wouldn't say anything, and it was just so normal. Like, I can't remember a specific, but we would either say something or do something. And I remember one time Jadon was freaking out. And this is something that I love about Jadon, is he's not afraid to be excited. Like, he's always excited about something. Like, I will oftentimes let him tell a story because he brings the passion in the life because he feels it. Not that I don't, but there's a different level there. It's like anything he can make, and he can bring the passion for it, bring the excitement for it. And so there was this one time where he asked me a question about, like, oh, is that what the Lord said to do? And I was like, we just did it. And it was the whole thing of, we're so confident in our relationship, the Lord and I, that we don't, like, it's already approved, it's already a go.
You don't always have to hear the words.
Yeah,
You just
There's not a
are
separation
one.
between the two.
Yeah.
I love that.
was really sick.
Because it was great, because he said something, like, we were trying to decide what to do, and he's like, let's do this. And then I looked at him and was like, is that what Papa said? And then right away, it felt really weird for those words that had come out of my mouth. I was like, looking, like, that was really weird. Why'd I ask that? I was like, you guys are like, and he's like, yeah, we're like the same person. Like, you don't even have to, like, yeah, there's no
You don't
separation
need
between.
any words.
Yeah, you don't need any, like,
Yeah.
the oneness that you don't even hardly have to glance. It's just, you just are.
Yeah.
And it's just the moment by moment. And the one other favorite of mine, we were in the store and I was trying to decide what to buy. Like, I had a little toy I wanted to buy for my wife, and I was trying to decide if I should buy it or not. And Windsor said, he asked the question, he's like, should we stay or should we go? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Should we stay or should we go? And I took it as should we stay, I think, as I took as should we go as in leave the animal there and leave the restaurant or leave the place, and should we stay as in get the animal, right? And then Windsor interpreted the complete opposite, so he interpreted it as should we go as in take the animal and go, or should we stay and not take the animal or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
So we interpret it two different ways. So we both asked Papa, and one of us heard stay, and the other person heard go. So we heard two different words, but we both meant the same
Yes.
thing. So the answer was exactly the same, and what action we took was to leave the bear there, but it was in two different languages that we heard it from God in. And
Wow.
it was just amazing.
And I think that was the most important thing that stuck out to me is, number one, for crossing of generations, so from our generation to our parents to our grandparents, and crossing cultural generations and cultural boundaries from not only the Christian culture but also the street culture and also the wild religious culture. They're all out there, and so the crossing of that was a lot of the times the things that we think through, we would talk through, we would come to a conclusion in the way that we process things, the way that we think through things. We come to the same end, we come to the same goal, but it was through completely different wording,
Yes.
completely different thought
And
processes.
our own
It was-
unique.
Exactly. Yeah. In our own personal understanding and representation of what that looked like. So that
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Do you guys have any more epic moments you'd like to add?
One was fun. We were at the base for the majority of the 2 weeks, and for the last weekend before I left, we went to the Gold Coast. We went to the beach. And our first night we went there, we decided to go walk into town. So we had all our normal clothes in. We walk into town, we walk around to the shops and stuff, and walk out on the beach. And we're looking at the beach, and how'd it go, Father?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, so we were
I
walking in the
remember.
sand, and I noticed the waves would come up, and like almost one wave would come up, and your whole footprint would be gone. Like it would just wash away, and literally one little teeny wave would just wash away your whole footprint. And what did I say, Windsor? Do you remember?
Well, you didn't say anything. You just turned around and started walking back, and I knew immediately what you were doing, and I kind of felt the same thing. So we just went with it, and then after Yeah, after.
Oh, after something we talked about?
Yeah.
So we were, before we walked up on the beach, we were sitting there in the water, and I was talking to Windsor. I was like, it's like, was it after we were talking about the steps? It doesn't matter. Anyways, we were talking about how the steps in the sand, how Papa was like, this is your mistakes, or this is not necessarily mistakes.
That was right
but,
before.
Yeah, right before. Just anything. This is the hurt part of you. This is anything that's not me or whatever. Any whatever you want to call it, the not Papa, or I don't know how to explain it. The words aren't coming out right now, but anyways, his love and his grace, the water would come up in one little wave, would completely wash it white, just completely fresh, like it had never been there in the first place. So it was a representation of his love and grace completely covering up, like,
yes, washing it away.
Washing it away. And I'm standing there, just our ankles are in the water. I look out at the ocean, the big waves rolling in, and I felt Papa say, he's like, well, if this is my love, wouldn't you want to be all in?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, hold on a second. So I sit there and like, wait, do I really want to like go swimming right now? It was like 10 at night. No, just people are walking along the beach. No one's in the water. And I'm like, I guess. So I turn around, I walk up on the beach, and Windsor just follows me. And we walk up on the beach, and we start stripping down to like our shorts.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there looking at Windsor, and he just freaking sprints for the water. So we just go charging and just dive in the water.
Yes.
And go all in, full send. That was what the main words of our trip was. Is if you feel it and you believe that's what Papa's saying, don't hesitate. Just complete send all the way. Because he's got your back either way. Either way, it's good. If it wasn't him, it'll be redeemed. And if it was him, awesome. You can't lose. So yeah.